Hello and welcome to this video. For this let's play I'm gonna show you V Rising. V Rising is a RPG survival game. You can play it solo, you can play it with friends, you can make your own clan, but more about that in a little bit. I hope you will like the video. If you do, feel free to like the game, feel free to subscribe. That helps. If you comment, let me know what you would like to see in a future let's play or about this game or any other games, because that's what really helps me and gets me going. But without further ado, let's dive into the game. Alright, let's sink our teeth deep into V Rising. I've been playing it for a little bit and I absolutely love the game, so that's why I thought let's share my experiences, my tips and tricks with you guys. The first important thing is make up which kind of gameplay you want to experience, what kind of server you want to join. So if I press play, here comes the first choice. We can choose for online play, we can choose for a private game, might be online if you share it with others, otherwise it is offline. And you can set up host your own server. You can set it up from another computer you own if you have that available, or you can choose from one of the many services like Nitrado to host a server with them. If we say go online, then you have the choice for PvE. It is you against the world with the other players. We can choose for the PvP. It is you with 3 friends, same as with the PvE. You can play with up to 3 people in a clan, unless you edit that. But it is you with your friends against the world and the other players. People might invade your castle, they can hunt you, can kill you, but you won't lose everything. If you choose for the full loot PvP though, you will lose everything you have on you. You will lose the loot you have with you. People can raid your castles, loot them, and so on. And then you have the duo PvP. This is really focused on the PvP aspect. I think PvE is not that much. It's more the PvP, you against another team of vampires. I haven't played this, so to be honest, I can't tell you too much about it. If you choose the private game, like this, you get these options. Here you can give your server a name. Let's say we call it the Recording Realm. You can choose your type PvE, PvP. So say if I set this up as private, but I invite a friend of mine, he can either join me in the clan. Basically, normal clan size is 4 people, but you can, as you can see here, increase or decrease that, or you can just say PvE. I'm just gonna choose for PvE, and then there's a lot of things you can customize in the rule set. You have standard PvE, you even have the easy ones, so say if you wanted this, it is less challenging or more challenging. You can even say it's like permanent dawn, permanent noon, and the level of certain things will increase or decrease. Let's just keep it on the standard rules. You can, if you have a local area network, you can set up a password, only solo play. So if I just want to play for me, I can check this, but you know, it is fine for now. So start new game, so we can go on with the next bit. What it will do now is it will generate the game world for the very first time. The map is always the same, but certain loot points, you know, they change all different versions of the game you've been playing. So this takes a little while, but you know, that's fine. It's almost done. Character creation or customization in this sense. You can choose from a male or female vampire. I'm gonna choose the male vampire. There's a quite colorful palette of skin tones you can choose from. So I'm gonna keep him light skinned. Then you can choose from some default faces. That looks evil. I like this. Let's give him the eyes, because you can choose quite a lot. But I like this. Then we get a hairstyle. Or you can leave him bald, whatever you want. I like this. And then we give him a hair color. I like it dark. Yeah, that's nice. Features. We give him a beard or a mustache or whatever this is. I like this. It's a deeper looking fella. We get some accessories, some earrings, or some other ear decorations. This looks nice. You can let it completely randomize as well if you want to. And let's give him a name. Create. Is there really any point to the way your vampire looks? No, there are no bonuses, there are no benefits. It's just, you know, you're more unique the way you look. You can zoom in pretty far in the game, so you actually see your character, which is really nice. And we came back to life. Now the real lesson starts. My first tip for the gameplay is take your time. Take your time to like really discover the nooks and crannies in areas like this, because you can smash up quite a lot, as you can see. Not these coffins, but these vases, and there will be wooden boxes in the world, stuff like that. Smash it up, because they may or may not contain some of the helpful resources. And that's the next tip. Resources, you will always be needing them. Even when you're high level, just the simple stuff, you will keep it and need it. So save up as much as you can on your resources. Just, you know, keep them stacked up in your safe house, your castle, whatever. But don't throw it away. Even if you think like, I'm not gonna use it, just like say to stay safe, just keep like one in your chest, in your inventory, whatever, but never throw anything away, because you will need it. If it is not now, it is definitely later. And that's why I'm taking my time here, you know, discovering the stuff, smashing it up, see what I can find. If there's something in it, it's just the basic materials, but you will always need the materials. And as you can see here in the top left corner, we have some objectives, because there is no real story mode in the game, but these objectives like point you towards the next phase of the game, towards the next step of the game. What I needed to do was collect bones. Well, I did that just by smashing up these vases, these things here in the script. And with that, I found some starting materials. I'm curious what's here. Nothing. Well, that's fine. And when you complete an objective, you can claim it. This is what gives you the next step, but also some helpful recipes, some unlocks, stuff like that. Now we get the next objective, craft a sword. To be able to craft, I need to go to my inventory and then towards the crafting section. You do that by pressing tab. This is your general inventory with your quick bar, your equipment, and here we have crafting. bone sword. You can click it, it will start crafting. You can actually leave this and just move on as it is being crafted for you. Item crafted, and there you see our nice bone sword. We got the new objective, and that was to actually craft the sword and to slay enemies using the bone sword. What I do is I start to gather some materials, because as mentioned before, you never have enough. And there is our first enemy. We can hit him with a sword until he drops, but we also have a really handy ranged ability, Shadow Bolt, which is unleashed by pressing the R. Good to know is that this is a skill-based game, which means you have to actively aim towards where you want to hit or throw your spell or whatever. You cannot auto-lock on an enemy or the trees or whatever. You have to actively aim. So if I move, keep in mind that I also have to keep aiming. We picked up a first red. Save up on these as well, by the way. Save up on the reds. But yeah, more about that in a little bit. Let's open up this container, which contains some really nice, helpful resources. And that's why, especially now in this phase of the game, is take your time. Explore as much as you can, gather as much as you can, because you will need it. You will need everything, so take your time. You see me, the dashing move, that is really handy to escape certain traps if you ever become trapped, but also know to dodge certain attacks. So keep that in mind. It has a cooldown, but it will become your best friend, unless you choose to replace it for another ability, which becomes available later in the game as well. Now we have to craft a bone ring, but the other objective is already completed since I killed 2 enemies with Shadow Bolt. But that's fine. Let's craft it. So we're stacking up on bones pretty nicely. You see him laying around here as well. The point of making that gear and upgrading your gear is so you become strong, because killing these creatures doesn't gain any XP, you just get materials from them. So you don't farm these skeletons for the XP, but for the materials they drop. There we go. Some more bone. And that's another objective completed. Now we have unlocked the first equipment we can make, which is the bone guard, chest guard, and the salve. And that's where you need these rats for. So always have some in your inventory for the salve, But also, if you're really in the pitch and you need some blood, because you see the blood pool right here, when your blood pool drops to 0, you start to get damage every second or so, up till the point until you have 1 HP. You won't die from it, but your health will be extremely low. One hit of basically anything and you're dead. So that's why you want to keep your blood pool full. And if there's nothing you can drain blood from, but I will show you that in a little bit, you can use a rat or a heart to at least gain a little bit of blood. My personal advice though is save your rats, save your hearts, don't use them for that, because there is always something close by where you can drain blood from, where you get a better boost from because of the blood type. But I'll explain that in a little bit as well. This area where we are now is basically like a safe zone. So this is to familiarize you with the basics of the game. And that's why I say take your time, because you will get quite a lot of the basic materials you will need later on, and you know, you can practice with the dashing and the combat, and you know, getting familiar with the basics. We're nearing the exit of this area. And I think we found what we needed to find here. Because, as you might have seen, we were supposed to build the equipment. But for these, we need animal hides. You won't find them in here, so spoiler, but you won't find them in here. For that, can't take it, he's glitchy. For that, we need to venture into the next area, which is Farbane Woods. So let's do that then. There we go. And now we're here. This is where the game really starts. Our blood pool is getting dangerously low, so I will have to feed. And this is where the next mechanism actually enters the game, which is blood types. As soon as you start the game, or if you respawn after dying, you start as a frailed. You can see that right here at the blood type. You start as frailed. When you consume a rat or a heart, keep in mind, even if you have a blood type, you will also start back as frailed. Now, when you want to get another blood type, you have to drain the blood of a creature or humanoid that possesses that blood type. And that's what I'm going to do now, because my blood pool is getting dangerously low. As you can see with the smoky border of the edges of my screen. So let's find ourselves a nice and tasty snack. And if I don't find anything too quick, I could choose to actually drain the blood of the rat. But usually there's something close by here. These are really handy as well, but also come with one downside. You can use them, but not if you have any materials on you. If you have resources on you, like the wood or the stone or anything like that, you cannot use the way gates. You can only use them when you have like a nice and clean inventory, because you can't move the resources. And now we filled up our blood pool, which is 1+, but also we changed the blood type. I changed the blood type to creature, and that starts with level 1 in this case. And you can improve that by like drinking a higher percentage of any of the other creatures. And the sun came up. Now another interesting feature starts, but first let me go a little bit more into detail of the blood type. There are different kind of monsters in the world and different kind of humanoids, creatures, whatever. So drinking their blood will change the blood type. What each blood type does, I will show you. Alright, let's talk a little bit more about those blood types. There are several blood types you can acquire during the game. I'm gonna tell about them a little bit more in here. First, you have the creature. So you get that from creatures, wolves, bears, stuff like that. As you can see, each level increases a certain amount of a certain stat, or all the stats. You start out at level 1, and then you can get to level 2, 3, 4, or 5. This is done by the percentage of the blood type the creature in this case has. So if you see like a bear walking around with type creature and say 7%, you're gonna stay in that level 1 range. But as soon as it tips off above 20% ish, you will go to level 2, and so on and so on. So if you see like a creature, a wolf with blood type creature for 75%, you're probably gonna end up with the level 4 of the creature blood type, which means you get all the stat increases up to end level 4. And above that, above say 75% or 80%, you'll probably get the level 5 of the blood type. So you can see here are creature, warrior, and brute. And then there is dog, scholar, and worker. I myself like creature a lot. To be honest, I haven't really experimented with scholar yet. Worker is nice if you're actually like really working on your base, and yeah, maybe if you want to damage a base, because you see the level 2. It's more for gathering resources. You deal a lot more damage to resources. So the veins you see around, or the trees, you do more damage, so you chop down a tree way quicker. Well, that's that about blood types. And also, drinking like a creature with a higher percentage behind its type will increase this level. Now we just have the level 1, which increases my movement speed, but you can see there are a lot of different choices. Wait, what level is this Mr. Bear? Oh, he's level 18. Now we drink Mr. Bear. And as you can see, I did all that while the sun was up, because that's my next point. You're not completely helpless when the sun is up, even though you're a vampire, and vampires tend to be pretty allergic to the sun. But you're not completely defenseless, as long as you stay in the shadows. And that's a really handy mechanism in this game, and also a really cool mechanism in the game. Never stay still. You see the shadows keep moving, and so will you. You have to keep moving. Because if you stay in one spot, the shadows will move away from you, and you're out in the open. And you really don't want that. You always want to keep moving. You can stay in the sun for a couple of seconds. And first you start to sparkle, like so. Then you see this beam of light focus on you. Then you have several seconds until you start to actually get damage. Like so. And you see, that's quite a lot of damage. Thankfully we can heal. You can heal with this ability, because you don't really get a tutorial for that, but the Bloodmend ability, which you find on pressing the control and then selecting it, this heals you, but costs blood. You can say drink a red to gain blood and heal, or you can use one of these salves. Later on you will find more, you will find or craft potions, stuff like that. But for now we just have to do with the hearts and the blood and the reds and the creatures. And our heal ability, Bloodmend. Bloodmend will be your best friend at the start of the game. Keep that in mind. So, I'm crafting the equipment we needed and some extra vermin salves, because that's always handy to have. Keep them. That's why, you know, keep some rats with you at all times. If you're in a pit, you can drink them for the blood, but you can also craft the salve, which is a heal over time, like this. It recovers 2.5% of your maximum health every 1.5 seconds for 15 seconds, but is limited, and when in combat and you gain damage, it's automatically broken off. So keep that in mind. You have to stay safe for several seconds when you want to heal. Back to the sun mechanism. As you can see, I'm perfectly fine even if the sun's out, but I stay in the shadows. Why would I go out and not stay in the safety of my castle or my house? You will need your resources. So this is an ideal moment to actually gather your resources, especially if you're like on a PvP server. Then it's up to you if you want to venture out to the sun and use the sun to your advantage, even when it comes to the combat. Or you can say, you know what, I'm gonna stay inside and research stuff or whatever. So, but my tip is, go outside, even when the sun's out. Gather, move around the map, go towards the objective you want to go to, so you have the complete nighttime when you get there to try and defeat that one specific boss, creature, whatever. So and that's the danger when gathering resources in daylight. When you chop away a certain tree which was providing you with shadow, you end up in the sun. Keep that in mind as well. Now we have to craft a mace and smash rocks. Alright, we can do that. When you craft items like this, they automatically equip in your quick bar. I tend to have my weapons in here and the rest down here. Now is another tip, because now we have a sword, an axe and a mace. Always use the right tool for the right resource. If I want to chop wood, use an axe. If you want to smash up rocks, use the mace. You can gather wood with the mace and you can gather rocks with the sword and the axe, but it is more efficient. You get more and faster when you use the correct tool. So keep that in mind when you're actively gathering resources. That's one. Here is the other one. And that's that objective done. Now the interesting part starts, but I'll show that in a little bit. Because I know where I want to build for now. So see, I have my maze, but if I take my axe, I can still gather stone, and I can gather tree or wood with the axe, but it's more efficient to use the right tool. And eventually you will get better quality tools, which even improves the effectiveness and stuff like that. But for now we have to do with these tools. I don't think I want to get hit by him, since he like has a skull in front of his name. And if these type of games teach us anything, is that they are really dangerous. See, and now I'm poisoned. But we survived, okay. And this actually is the area I want to build. But for me to build, I need to clean up a little bit. Okay, that was quick work, because that's a good tip as well. When you get the prompt to actually feed on something, you need to bring him down to a certain percentage of health. You get the prompt to feed. If you don't want to drain his blood completely, or her blood, but you want to get rid of him real quick, just click. You will abort the feeding, but the prey instantly dies, and you can go on fighting the rest. So if you're like fighting a group of 2 or 3 creatures, and you get the feed prompt, feed, click, and that's that one done. Because if you leave him walking around, it could damage you, it could even kill you. So that's a quick way to get rid of the enemies, and especially if they have like a certain set of abilities that's actually dangerous for you. You know, a higher level creature, when you get that prompt to feed, but you don't want to drain their blood, feed, click, and done. Okay, that's some space. Now we can start with the next phase, which is base building. Alright, for base building we need a lot of resources. Well, we gathered some, but we'll need quite a lot. My tip is, when you find an area you like, keep a certain layout in mind, because you're gonna need several rooms. First, yeah, you start out not like a castle, but more like a temporary housing. But keep in mind, at this point, we can only, if not mistaken, place 2 castle halls in the game, which means we can have 2 castles and that's it. Keep that in mind for now. Maybe they are gonna update it, maybe they're gonna increase it, because it is a big map, and each location has its own strategic advantages of building there or on another location. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind what you want to do, and I'm gonna show you what I mean with that. First I'm gonna clear out this area a bit, because yeah, that way we have the room to build. And I have a general layout in mind I want to use, so that's what we're gonna do then. Yeah, this is fine for now, because I like the way that we come up these stairs and we can actually build. So we first need to place the castle heart. That's the general, you know, main building, yeah, heart of the castle. It needs its blood essence to stay alive in this case. First, now we have those borders. I'm gonna place some here as well, because borders you can place even if there's something there. Oh, I need blood essence. But yeah, now we need to find some creatures, because I need some more blood essence to actually feed it. And as you can see, Castle Heart is decaying. Well, yeah, that's to be expected since it doesn't have any essence in it. And essence is what keeps it ticking and keeps it alive. So always keep some blood essence for, you know, cases of emergency. You want to feed your heart, and you need to give it the blood essence. I have to focus a bit on the combat. Let's feed on this one as well, since the blood pool is getting low. That's one of the advantages. The blood essence is automatically picked up, so you don't need to worry about that, and the rest you have to pick up. I haven't found if there is an auto pickup function in the game. Maybe that's something that can be set in the server settings, because at the start of the game you can, you know, play with those settings. We kept them for the normal settings, the default settings, but there is a lot of stuff you can increase there. You can make the enemies a bit easier or even a bit harder if you want that. Let's put 10 in there, so I have a bit, you know, essence to keep on building, because I want to start out there. Let's clear that place here. And now we see we completed that, and now we go with the 45 mission. Protect your territory replacing palisades, and palisades are the wooden walls. They kinda, you know, count as a temporary base of operations, and you can eventually replace them with stone walls. But keep in mind as well, there's no function of like really upgrading them, so you have to remove the walls you've placed and then replace them in that way with stone walls or whatever. You do get a certain amount of the resources back, so if you dismantle is what they call it, if you dismantle the wall, you get a certain amount, a certain percentage of your resources back, but never 100%. Keep that in mind, so pay attention what you're building, because it would be a shame if you like really get some really rare resources and you make a small mistake and you have to dismantle the wall and then you have to find a certain, you know, resource again. Let's use the mace for that, and that's something you have to keep in mind. Always use the correct tool for the correct resource. So keep an axe for the trees, keep your mace for the stone, etc, etc. Yeah, that plant fiber can be bought for those who switch to the axe, but yeah, this stone is really important, because eventually when you want to build a castle, stone becomes one of the resources you have to keep farming. Alright, palisades. The entrance. Let's place that like here, here, here. Like this, like this. Ah, see, I made a mistake. I actually wanted a doorway here, so I'm gonna cancel. Now I got 100% back, but I think it's just like the few first cases, and then you don't get 100%. You get like 75, if not mistaken. But I think this is because it is the introduction. They, you know, become a bit forgiving and say, you know, mistakes can be made. So let's not claim all the resources. Okay. That is done. Now you need to place a wooden coffin and a wooden stash. But first, what I'm gonna do is make one of these. This machine, this thing here, will become your best friend at the start of the game. Let's see in the shade here. Oh, I didn't build a border here, so let's do it like this for now. That's fine. This thing, this mist brazier, I forgot the name, just built it, but the mist brazier, what that does is you have to feed it some bones and it will generate this mist you see here, and that covers a certain amount around your base in that mist, so you can at least safely move around. It's not a really big area, so if you're like in this temporary base and you have several rooms, you might need 2 or 3 of these, but they're really handy. They save you a lot of hassle, because you see this complete entryway to my castle now is covered in the mist, and thus I'm safe. I need to build a small stash. That's good to store some of our found resources. And I need a wooden coffin. Well, I know what I want to do, so I'm gonna place those in there for now. Those in there. Those in there. Don't need these yet. So that's good. That's good. What's also really handy, by the way, is this function here. Say like this. So you have everything mashed up like this. That's fine. If you use this, it automatically puts everything of that same resource in that chest. So if you have the room available, it will put it in here, which is really handy. It's one click and your whole inventory is tidied up. Especially if you have, you know, the appropriate rooms in the castle, and you want to keep everything nice and organized, like I usually do. It's really handy to have that. I need plant fiber. I'm gonna get that anyway as soon as I start chopping the wood. For now, I think I'm gonna place one of those in here. Let's split up this. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. Keep your braziers, you can turn it off when like the sun goes down, and especially at the start I advise that. But yeah, later on when you have a lot of bones, you basically just leave it burning all the time. Let's go for that. Nah, I'm not gonna go for the blood type yet. If you come across, if you like, you're gonna focus on building your castle, and you want to do that the best and efficient way, keep your eyes out for one of the creatures with the blood type worker. That really helps when building the castle, because you gather resources way quicker. Maybe it costs less, stuff like that. So if you know, if you're really gonna focus on building, not like emergency building, but really gonna upgrade your castle, stuff like that, that might be a handy blood type to have around. Keep your eyes out for the worker blood type. See, and because we built that mist brazier, all this area now is safe for us to walk. I can keep gathering my resources even when the sun is up. Go. We got some extra essence, so we put that in here, and slowly the time, you know, you see it going up, and eventually you have so many blood essence you don't have to worry about it, especially if you make the trips for actively like farming materials. Each creature you kill gives some of the essence, so eventually you have more than enough. But now at the start of it all, it might be a bit of a struggle. Oh, I put all of the plant fiber in here again. There we go. So we can build some more walls. Yeah, that's good. Built. Now we need some more wood. Sun's slowly going under, so what I'm gonna do to save the bones is to turn them off for now. But we're pretty close to that starting area, where there's always some skeletons roaming around, so if you're in the need of bones, I know where to find them. Got some more lumber, so that way we can keep on building. I hope more than enough for the coffin and for the walls. And I really like the building because you pretty much have freehand what you want to do. Especially if you unlock more and more of the things to find in the game, like, you know, the carpets and the wall ornaments and stuff like that. You can really customize the castle, so no castle is actually the same, especially if you play like with friends. Yeah, it's really cool to yeah, make it your own and build in your style. And I'm like a really organized person, so I like my rooms neat and tidy, but I mean, there are some people that just build the way they want to place everything the way they want, just spread across the room. But that's fine as well, you know, if that works for you, then that's cool. And for me, the building, together with the survival code, the building was one of the main points for me to actually get this game. Because as soon as I can build and customize stuff, I'm sold. Yeah, combine that with survival elements, you know, the actively hunting at a certain point, really makes this an interesting game. Even for the longer term, because maybe there comes a point that you never really finish it. So if you can keep on playing, why not? If I want to build a room next to here, I'm putting a door here, so that way. Yes. Now I need my wood coffin. for here now is fine. Eventually you probably get a room for that as well, and you put it in there. For now it's good. Getting ready for the hunt. Construct and interact with a sawmill, construct and interact with a simple workbench, and increase your gear level by crafting stronger equipment. Okay, slowly and steadily we are starting with the upgrading parts of the game. We needed a sawmill. It's a pretty big contraption, but you know, that's fine. We have the room for it. No, here's good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a extra chest here, and I needed the simple workbench, but for that we need planks and animal hides and stone. Well, we have the stone and animal hides in the chest, but I'm gonna move them to this chest here. But at least I leave the machine do some work. And this is where the point comes with that, what I said. I'm really clean and organized, so this is where I order all my stuff and then, you know, keep everything nice and tidy. Probably gonna need some more lumber, so let's farm that. And almost. Alright, we got our 8 planks, so we can build that workbench. I'm gonna put that right over here. I don't know how big it was, but yeah, this looks nice. And now we have to interact with it. Now we need some more planks. Alright, that might take a little while. But we can make this. Plated bone guard. Yeah. Yes. Don't forget when you make something to take it back out of the workbench in this case, because this doesn't automatically go to your inventory or to your equipment, since like with when you make it from out of your inventory, if you craft stuff here it goes automatically into your in the right slot, but here it does not. Is there something I can put in there? Yeah, I can put these in here for now. We need 4 planks for the upgrade, so we can start one upgrade almost. Reinforced bone sword. Oh, I need the stone back. Let's leave this stack, that should be fine. Yeah. Okay, as I wait for the planks to be made, I'm gonna gather something, but I'm gonna speed that up for you, because otherwise it might become a little bit boring. So when I head back, you'll see me in a second. And that was the last of the planks we need for the mace. Now we can make a reinforced bone spear, which is a really nice weapon, so I'm gonna do that, but for that first we need to make a bone spear. I haven't made that, so we need some bones. I just put Put them in the mist brazier. I'm just gonna do it like this. There we go. Crafting. Boom, spear. Because at the start of the game it wasn't an objective to make that spear, or they did not, you know, push you towards making it. But it is a really handy weapon. I use it quite a lot. Let's see. Turn this on, because otherwise we get sunburned. We don't want that. So now we have enough planks. Yeah, we have enough planks. Some interesting, maybe some interesting rings and stuff you can make. Maybe this one is a good one to make as well. For that we need 30 blood rose. Do we have those already? I'm not sure. Let's turn this one on as well, because otherwise it would be hard for me to reach this. Yeah, blood rose. So let's craft that ring. I already increased my gear level more than enough to get the objective complete, but you know, it really helps. So let's do this. Boom. 6 gear level. Okay, those in there. This one as well. So we upgraded our weapons and our armor. So let's claim. And this is where the actual hunting begins of the game, with the V blood carriers. So let's see what we need for this. Stone and blood essence. Let's gather that. I saw some wolves walking down here, so let's get the blood essence we need. That's a skeleton. That's 2 skeletons. That's a lot of skeletons. We can test out our new weapons. Do have to stay in the shade, because otherwise I get crispy, and I don't want to become a crispy vampire. There we go. Now pick up the bones. Because we upgraded the weapons, we can now gather more different types of stones, because there are some we could not collect the first time we passed them, because our weapon was not strong enough to actually smash it and get the resources, but now it is. So this one here, we can now gather it, although it is in the sun. Oh no, this one we cannot. That's sulfur, if I'm not mistaken. But the copper ore we can actually get, and that will be something we need for the next level upgrades of stuff. As you can maybe saw at the crafting, at the workbench, we can get copper weapons. They are the wolves I saw walking around, so I think I'm going to get those for the essence and for the blood. I might. Let's get it, because my blood pool is getting low. Yeah, we got some more bones, so that's good. So let's get some stones and then head back to the castle. There we go. Altar. Let's build it, and then if we have some more, oh yeah, we'll have 16 blood essence spare. So I'm gonna put that in the heart. There we go. We have the heart actively fed for 8 hours, almost 9 hours. So that gives us a little bit of breathing room. sorted out nicely. There we go. So we have the blood altar, and with the blood altar the next phase of the game actually can start, which is finding those V blood carriers, and defeating those will give you new powers. Maybe they will give you unlocks of new building things for your base, new workbenches, stuff like that. So the first one we can actually defeat is the Alpha Wolf. It's level 16, and which when on defeat will give us the wolf form power. So yeah, that's a pretty neat power because it is like a traveling ability, which makes roaming the map a bit more easy. So let's see if we can find them. Ah, there he is in the distance, so we can get him. Found some other enemies we could dispatch and get a nice blood type in. Out and not become swarmed by these guys. There we go. And almost. There we go. And now we're drinking V blood. I always like how when you defeat a boss like this, in a certain small area everything explodes, and thus you can pick it up pretty easily. So that was our first V blood carrier. And now we have the wolf form ability. Take that, let's get back to our castle. Alright, back at the safety of our walls. There we go. Let's feed this some bones. No, it's actually the wrong stack. Because that's why I split it. Because this one has a few less bones than the other one, but that's fine. Let's do it like this. Keep some of the blood essence for building. Some items need blood essence. Alright. There we go. Let's put this in there as well. And you see 34 planks just for waiting, so that's really nice. This in here, sword. There we go. Alright, let's claim this. Research task. And this is where the the story continues, and maybe I'll show you some more of that in another video, but for now I want to keep it at this because it's quite a lot. I've shown you the basics of the game, gave you some of my tips, but feel free, if you want to know more, leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer as good as I can, of course. But yeah, this is how the game actually goes with the missions. You get a small introduction of it, you know what to do, you know what to build. It will guide you in the process of the building and upgrading your castle, because now we just have this emergency like shelter more or less, but as soon as we can actually start building, and you see the blueprint I'll get for completing this is walls and structures, and that is where we can build a castle instead of the wooden structure you see here. But I'm gonna leave it for this now. If you want to see more, if you want to know more, let me know, and maybe I'll make a second video for you guys, or go in depth on a certain thing if you want. But leave me a comment and I'll do my best for you. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you on a next video. Thank you very much, and see you next time.